President Trump believes Hamas is ready for lasting peace. The U.S. president told Israel to stop bombing Gaza after Hamas group declared it was ready to free hostages under his ceasefire plan. Hamas welcomed parts of Trump's proposal while hinting at resistance regarding other sections. The group said it was willing to release all remaining hostages in return for an end to the war and a full Israel withdrawal. But while it accepted parts of the Trump proposal, Hamas insisted that additional negotiations are needed to finalize the terms. But Trump appeared to be embracing the Hamas response as a win, issuing a video statement from the Oval, calling it a big day and thanking U.S. allies including Qatar, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Turkey and Jordan for mediating.
I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented. But thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East. And we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
So shared the Hamas statement on his social media in an almost unheard-of move for a U.S. president, as did the White House. Earlier, in another Truth Social post, Trump told Israel to immediately stop the bombing of Gaza. Trump posted on Truth Social, and I quote, "Based on a statement just issued by Hamas, I believe they are ready for a lasting peace. Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly." Hamas also agreed to hand over power in Gaza to a body of Palestinian technocrats, but added that the issues over Gaza's future should be discussed within a comprehensive Palestinian national framework, which Hamas will be part of. That sounds like a rejection of Trump's plan for a board of peace, which he would chair himself, to guide a technocratic government in Gaza.
We will never accept anyone not Palestinian, to control the Palestinian. But this does not belong to Hamas only. This belongs all of the Palestinian, and the Palestinian Authority and the PLO. They should say what their response about this. And we can't bring someone like Tony Blair to be governor in Gaza.
The statement also did not mention Hamas's disarmament, another key point of the plan. A senior Hamas official later said the group would not disarm before the Israeli occupation ends.
If the occupation ends and the Palestinians control themselves and there is a Palestinian state, Hamas no longer gonna have any kind of weapon. That mean they're gonna receive all. They sent all of their capabilities and to the Palestinian Authority. That's what we said from the beginning. We don't need the weapon if there is no occupation.
Israeli Prime Minister's office says that it was seeking the immediate implementation of the plan to free Israeli hostages in Gaza. However, the U.S. media news outlet Axios reported that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had been surprised by Trump's response and that it viewed Hamas's statement as failing to meet key aspects of Trump's peace plan. Netanyahu was alongside Trump as he unveiled the 20-point peace plan at the White House on Monday and said, at the time, Hamas must stick to all the elements of the plan. Trump had also given a deadline of late Sunday for Hamas to respond to the peace plan or face hell. Mr. Giorgio Cafiero is the CEO and founder of Gulf State Analytics and a professor at Georgetown University. He is now joining us live from Washington, D.C. Mr. Cafiero, good to see you and welcome to the program. Hamas did respond, but it's not what Netanyahu and Israel expected. The group has said they will release hostages as long as Israel stops bombing Gaza. Trump hails it as progress. Your reaction?
Yeah, thanks for having me on your program. I think that many people are, with good reason, optimistic that we might be on the verge of ending or at least freezing this conflict in Gaza. This could lead to a serious improvement in the overall humanitarian situation if the Israeli attacks cease and a ton of humanitarian aid, food, medicine can flood the enclave. There are some sticking points, though, this issue about Hamas disarming, and then also questions about the sequencing of the hostages being released and Israel withdrawing from the ground in Gaza. I think, though, if Trump is determined to put pressure on Netanyahu, the Israeli leadership will have no choice but to go along with what Trump wants. Of course, that's a big if. Netanyahu is probably not happy at all with this. The fact that Trump has received Hamas's response very positively, I have to imagine the Israeli prime minister is not happy about that. There are probably, well, I'm sure that right-wing figures in the Israeli cabinet are also very upset about this. I have no doubt that they will try to obstruct the implementation of this. But if Trump puts pressure on Israel, they will have to go along with it. So that's how I see things right now.
Cafiero, Hamas says issues over Gaza's future should be discussed within a comprehensive Palestinian national framework, which Hamas will be part of. The group also says occupation by Israel must end. Your reaction?
Yeah. Well, Hamas has actually maintained this position for quite some time, saying that they're willing to hand power over to a Palestinian entity other than Hamas under certain circumstances. So this is not necessarily new. Now, where there is a little bit of a sticking point has to do with the fact that Hamas is indicating, and well, they've said outright that they would want to still be one party that has a seat at the table and that they would still want to have influence in Gaza. Now, obviously those in Netanyahu's cabinet who have vowed to fight this war until Hamas is totally eradicated will probably object to the idea of Hamas having, quote unquote, influence in Gaza. What that influence would look like, that remains to be seen. But yeah, I think it's also important to point out that for Trump, from the standpoint of Trump and his own political interests, he really wants to make good on his campaign pledge from last year to be the American president who is able to bring peace to Gaza. Not saying I am convinced that that's what's going to happen, but after his administration has not succeeded in winding down the Ukraine conflict, the administration did not succeed in reaching a new nuclear deal with Iran. I think there's a huge incentive that Trump has to try to, at minimum, create the optics of bringing peace to Gaza. And we should also point out that there's a lot of pressure on Trump domestically. The American public is not in favor of continuing this war that America, in which America is financing the war on Israel's side. And even in Trump's own right-wing circles, there's growing opposition to this war. There are more prominent figures in the conservative movement who want to see the U.S. fundamentally change its relationship with Israel. Now that we're approaching the 2-year anniversary of October 7th, I think Trump really wants to be able to tell not only his supporters, but the American public at large that he was able to bring peace to Gaza. What this peace looks like, we'll see. But I think this is important to Trump's overall messaging right now.
Mr. Giorgio Cafiero, it's good to see you. We'll have to end it there. Thank you for talking to us today.
Good to be with you. Thank you.